Yo, 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 welcome in, Raider Nation, to another episode of the Raider Ragu show. Got my esteemed co-host, his airness himself. He's back. Say what up to Ant, y'all.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I missed y'all. Just talking Raider football with y'all. I know it's been a tough go. We was just gonna have to settle in for a little while. I think health is on the way if things continue to go as they are going.
So, man, week 12 in the books. Another game in the loss column for our favorite, beloved Raiders. This time to the Denver Broncos, 29-19 at home. First time the Broncos beat the Raiders at home since 2015. Peyton Manning was the quarterback the last time they had beat us at home. It's just, that's where it's at. Guys, we had injuries. Anyway, we're not going to get all into that yet. 2-9. The Raiders are in the cellar, tied for I think, three teams, the Raiders, Jacksonville,
The
and
Giants.
and the Giants are tied for the worst record in the league right now at 2-9.
Mhm.
So please, let's get this out the way. Follow, share, subscribe, comment on the show. Please rush over to our sponsor, Shebang Boutique. Fly stuff for your girl, women's clothing and accessories. Great prices. Slide on in right now, pause, and you can get something good for your girl at a nice discount. Just say you came from the Raider Ragu show. So, all right, Ant. So, man, same old story, really, right? When it comes down to it, the Raiders turned the ball over twice. Those two turnovers led to 10 points. Guess what? How many points the Raiders lost by?
10 points.
So, I hate to have to bring this type of crap up right here, but there was a suspect no call, man, in the end zone. The Raiders had got down to the red zone. The score was, at the time, the score was 13-19. The Broncos was winning. And the dude clearly came all over the back of Bowers, man, early before the ball got there. It was a pass interference in the end zone. The ball should have been moved to the half the distance to the goal line. First down. But they didn't call it, man. Raiders kicked a field goal, made the game 16-19 at the time. I keep seeing little stuff like that, man. I want to not be on any type of BS of refs are tripping, but I keep seeing little stuff. When they went up, what was it? To be honest with you, man, it was at the end when they went up 29-19. The score was
Mhm.
26 to
Mhm.
19 at the time.
Mhm.
The dude was holding on the uh, field goal. They showed it and then they took it off real quick and didn't say anything about it. Dude was pretty just had to look like he had the dude's towel or something and was like just holding him up. Anyway, same old story, man. Minshew throws a pick because the O line let the pocket collapse. The dude, D lineman, came right back into his lap. He hit his arm. He couldn't follow through, so the ball sailed on him, went over Jacoby Myers' head, and interception. And they got a good return on it. And was down on the Raider side of the field. Scored a few plays later, and then the other was when after Minshew got hurt towards the very end of the ball game, Ritter came in and once again pocket collapsed. He's trying to throw the football. Came through with the empty hand, fumble. They kicked a field goal right there to put the game
Gotcha.
away, really. So that's what happened, man. This game was with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This game was 16-13 Broncos, Donkeys, and like a real dogfight, man. Then they got the field goal, went up 19-13. The Raiders drove down there, bro, and that's when they didn't get the call in the end zone. It happened, man. It happened. We can go. We can replay it. I'm not. I ain't just got too much on it. We could replay it. But yeah, bro. So I'm talking too much, man. Any thoughts, brother?
Like I said, I did get a chance to really see this game like everybody else did, but just based upon stats, we can see that the quarterbacks got hit way too many times. 5 sacks given up, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 total quarterback hits for the Broncos by their defense. So they
Yeah,
were in our quarterback's face constantly. It was not a good day for the O line, and but
constantly
uh,
in his face.
but also a little bit on our defense, man. They got to get more pressure. Tyree had a sack, but we only had 2 quarterback hits from Max and Tyree. So it's like eh, we're not getting enough pressure. I understand Christian Wilkins is out. I understand Kuntz is out. I understand a lot of guys are out, but if you're out there on the field and you want to prove that you deserve to be out there on the field, you you got to show something. So I just think that we're kind of riddled by injury a little bit too much, and right now we're not playing good football.
What's interesting about the no sacks, right? We didn't sack Knicks at all.
No, 1 sack by
One
Tyree
sack. Oh, yeah, Tyree.
and 2 quarterback hits overall compared to the 5 sacks and 8 quarterback hits overall by the
The
Broncos.
coldest part about that is the Raiders blitzed a lot. I would say, half the plays on defense they blitzed.
So it's not like Patrick Graham wasn't trying to get
He's
pressure
trying
on
to.
some.
We're just not.
They're not getting there.
They're not, man. And in the second half, Sean Payton adjusted, and they start running little hitch routes on that zero coverage, on that zero pressure, and the young guy, and I think he's going to be a good player, Cameron Richardson. I think he's going to be a good player in the league. Right now, though, he's letting the receivers be a little too far away from him, especially on when you blitzing. When he's got to trust his abilities and his guys to get home and just get right onto the guy, man. None of that. You don't want to be backpedaling and giving all kind of space because the balls has to come out quick because they don't have enough blockers.
Yeah,
It's just a math equation at that point.
especially considering he is a lankier guy at
Yeah,
6'2", 190.
bro.
So he's not a small guy. So
At
it's
the
like
very least, Ant, he can make it a tougher throw in that
uh,
situation.
I would like to see you extend your arms, Get out there on that guy, pause, and let them feel you, pause. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that you're there. And but at 8 tackles, which is not necessarily a good thing because just like Coach Brown just said, when they asked him about Travis Hunter's tackling ability, he said, if your corner has a lot of tackles, then there's a problem,
You
which
already know.
is which is our corners had quite a bit of tackles. Our secondary had too many tackles. Uh, our leading tacklers on the day was DeCamerion Richardson with 8, Jack
Wow,
Jones with
that's
7,
very telling.
I, Isaiah Palomar with 6.
So, all right, let me. All right, we talking defense. Tyree Wilson balled, man. He's
Yeah.
I believe the light has come on. He had a nice TFL. Guess what? From standing up, he was standing up when he snapped the ball,
Mm-hmm.
which I've been yelling only for a season and a half to just let him stand up and see what he can do. Because when y'all draft, you fucking drafted a kid standing up, and what do? Put him down in a 4 point stance or whatever. But anyway, Tyree Ball, man, he had a sack. He had another QB hit. He had that TFL on the running back. He had some other pressures too, man. So Tyree is coming around. I do want to say that. But the defense overall, bro, it's just not, it's too much space for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, man. I'm just keeping it very simple. We are too, we are back too far. All right. You watching it on TV, all right. Obviously, we can't see the whole
Yeah.
football game, but all right, in the screen, and I notice this when I'm watching other teams too. Good defenses, and I'm gonna specifically say Kansas City and Denver's defense.
They do have good
All of their
defenses.
guys are damn near in the screen right there, eh? At
Yeah.
the snap of the ball, which means they're not scared of getting beat deep. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like the Raiders play a little bit scary alignment,
Yeah. I
alignment
mean,
wise. You
I
feel
do
me?
think I do think that at this point, I think Patrick Graham is like quite a bit of my starters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure that he 100% does everybody out there on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because some is out. No,
I'm saying even with Hobbs and them in there, bro.
yeah, Epps is out. All them are out, and it's like now it's like okay, gotta back up. And uh,
Yeah, but you can't, bro. It's the
yeah,
league.
I
It's
feel you. And now
man.
Wilkins is gone, and Kuntz is gone, and
Yeah, we got
Tyree
to
starting to
back up.
turn the
That's a
corner.
good one.
Yeah,
A
like
good
I,
one, man.
I, I don't know if we can get home to the quarterback and make him make those quick decisions where instead of he has 3, 4 seconds to throw the football.
Bro, so here's the thing. Here's the other side of that. All right. The not trusting it and feeling like you got to get back a step. It is like taking candy from a baby, man, for these NFL quarterbacks.
You're
Man,
right.
you might didn't punt.
I think his whole philosophy now is okay, let's we can give them the underneath stuff. We can uh once we get to the red zone, hold strong and let's try to force them to field goals.
Man, when we
Understand I completely get what you're saying.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I think that his philosophy has changed from the beginning of the season because beginning of the season he was very aggressive. That first game at the very least, he was trying to be aggressive, but the offense just put them in such bad situations that other things happened where we couldn't overcome those turnovers by the offense.
we and we have no what you were saying earlier anyway. The
And
pass
then
rush has been non-existent. So
I just think they also are tired.
these guys are
They're
getting
fucking
back.
tired. I think they are fucking gassed.
The defense,
Yeah.
just feel like, man, you got to go, out there, pause, play that thing, leverage, let them throw it over the top of you, man. You man type of they beat you to the outside, and then you hustle up, take the angle, and try to make the tackle, man, and live to make another play. But the little simple candy from a baby, and skinny post, and just hard of seeing it. It's too open, and that everybody's run game works. Everybody, everybody's run game works against us. Yeah, the suspect no call, brother. The we gave up 10 points, lost by 10. Still didn't get any turnovers. That's the other thing with the defense. We're not. We too got too much space, and we're not getting any turnovers. I want to say this though. They kept fighting, bro. They was don't think the I told you how they just lost by 10. The the Raiders scored and made the game 19 because it was 26-13. They kicked the field goal after the suspect
Call.
no call, right? They D'd up, got the ball back, and then that's when the fumble happened, man.
Well,
With
I just noticed Jacorian Bennett didn't play yesterday, did he?
he didn't play. No, the
He
Cam
didn't.
Richardson started and played the whole game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Darnay Holmes started and played the whole game at the nickel, number 30.
Jacorian Bennett has been fantastic this year. I don't know if people have recognized his play this year, but I'm going up against the number one corners and held it down on his side of the field.
Um,
And yeah,
I see why A AP and Telesco wanted a tall corner, bro. Those Bronco, those donkey receivers are tall.
I'm,
This rookie kid Vele, the older rookie, he went on a mission. I think it's a BYU kid or
mhm.
Utah kid. One, not BYU. Guys are all like 4. They got another tall guy. What's Lil Jordan? Lil Jordan Humphrey, even though his name is Lil Jordan, but he's a tall guy. I see why they wanted Richardson. They in that division, they know we're gonna be up against these guys year. I see why they wanted
Yeah,
to get him.
yeah, I think not only just that, I also think the fact of the tight ends across the league, he can match up against those types of guys, hopefully. And because he's a bigger body, pause and you know, try you can't put a linebacker on him. Yeah, those
On
corners you can't put on them. So they want a
on some
taller
of those
corner.
guys, yeah.
Um I know they have high hopes for him. He's just a bit raw, so it's just gonna take time. I
Uh,
think that uh think that we're just too short-handed to this point. Getsy's done his damage as the offensive coordinator. He's gone. It's hard to implement a whole new system, and especially in the middle of the year. Um, so at that point, you have to keep some of the stuff that he implemented. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
what these guys know.
yeah. Of it,
So
really, you just might
yeah,
in a
new
different
things.
part of
Yeah,
maybe try to block it different or something, teach it a little bit different or something. But you gotta same stuff. I ain't no just coming and putting in some whole different offensive
yeah,
system. So yeah,
yeah.
it's all
Just told you once we had lost to Cincinnati, I was kind of in tank, man. At this point, like 2-9, heading into Kansas City, who hasn't lost at home. And I know we'll talk more about that probably on Thursday or Friday, or, well, Wednesday, because I know that Turkey Day and stuff, we're gonna be too busy. So we'll
Yeah,
probably talk about it
and
on
the game is
Wednesday.
Friday, so yeah, you
Yeah,
might as well
that's what
get
I thought
in
about.
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what you said. I had to say Wednesday.
Yeah.
So just it's just difficult for me to see a point in truly going off and winning some games, possibly losing the top five
And I
pick when
understand that. Believe me.
we need some help. And there's, I think, some players in this draft that can truly help us. Even if we, like I said, if we get that number one pick, and if we took, because I feel like you should be running to the podium to take the kid hunting. I understand that Shador is there. I understand that he's the quarterback that we need, but I just don't think you can miss out on a generational talent such as Travis Hunter, even if he plays corner. As sometimes you can put him out there on the field at wide receiver, just off the
You
strength of how great he is as a player. And there's some quarterbacks that I've been watching here lately that I would be fine with picking in second round, and I think you can move forward with those guys.
all right? Hold on. All right, we can talk about that. I got some other questions for you, scenarios I want to run by you. Let me put a bow on this thing though. This game
Okay,
yesterday. Let's say Amir Abdullah
he looked good.
earned some more burn, bro. So
I like what I saw from Sincere McCormick. I saw
I do
some of his
too.
snaps
I did.
on
I did too,
Twitter as
brother.
well. We didn't necessarily run the ball terribly. It's just that we were kind of behind, and some drives got from me looking at the drive summary and things. Some drives got behind, bumbles, or there was an interception, fumble or sack or
And
something
see,
like that. So
yeah.
once you get behind, you can't run the football like you plan to do. And I mean, from that his carries and stuff like that. Give me just a second. I had it pulled up here. Hold on.
No, they.
Sincere McCormick, he had what? 533 yards.
Wow. That.
Amir Abdullah, 8 carries for 28 yards. That's not that great, but he did catch the ball 5 times for 37 yards and a touchdown. So it was like that's better than we've done all damn year, except for a couple other games here and there. You know what I'm saying? So they produced a little bit in the run game. They just gotta they got to tighten up again in the pass protection. It wasn't good yesterday.
I believe, honestly, man, McCormick needs needs some more burn. Amir Abdullah and McCormick both need some more burn going forward. And when and if both Madison and White come back. Not
Yeah,
saying
I
they should
said
start getting the lion's share, but I'm saying they deserve some burn, man.
for me, I feel like you kind of said want to get that number one pick, but open up the playbook, let some of these guys who haven't had a chance all season get a chance. You know, these practice squad guys, see what you got there that have been called up on the roster and stuff. Hell, you never know. Somebody might go out there and shock you, surprise you, and just let these guys play. Let them play football. Just let them play football and see what happens in some of these football games. I'm not saying don't go out there and compete. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm not necessarily at the point where I'm at the end of the world if we lose now, because at this
I
point
know
we're
you
two
not.
and nine.
Already
We're
know.
we're 2-9.
Already.
I'm sorry. Like very disappointed. But we talk about that and before the draft stuff, like I said, I do want to talk about some of the things that caused this roller coaster of events.
Man, let me also say DJ Turner had a nice showing as well, man. As did Jacoby Myers and Cash Money Carlson. So don't let me leave out any of those
Oh
guys.
yeah,
And I feel like AP coached a good ball game. I know people hate on AP, but they ran a fake punt, got it,
yeah. I
Uh,
saw Von Diablo had a catch for like 34 yards. I said, what?
yeah, he was on point, time wise and all that. He fell a little short. Didn't get that call, man. That kind of changed stuff. But all that happened, and then also Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone. I don't even know if we mentioned that yet.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He's
broke
out for
collarbone,
the
so he's
season.
out, bro. He won't be playing anymore. Ritter is going to be the quarterback now.
Yeah, I think, but no, I think O'Connell is ready to go for Friday. From
Is he?
what I'm hearing, they're saying he's possibly ready to go for Friday.
Hmm, that's interesting. I guess
That's
Ritter is
what I'm
just
hearing.
not grasping the
I don't know. I
playbook.
don't know if that is 100%. We'll check back on Wednesday, but I did hear murmurs and reports of that O'Connell could be ready to go as early as Friday. He wasn't out for the season. Like 4 to 6 weeks when he got hurt.
Bro, I would be lying if I told you I didn't want to see what Ritter could do for a whole game. I just like with this suspect O line that we have, man. I just like how he can run. That's no other excuse than that. No other
Yeah,
reason than that. I like because
yeah,
he can get out of the pocket and something happen. He's not a like a per se. He tries to get out there and throw it still, but if he has to run it, he can. He's way bigger than Minshew and faster and a more strong. You could just tell he's stronger, bigger, faster, stronger than Gardner Minshew. Stronger arm, all that. I don't know about but I want to see him, and I don't want to see Aiden. I already know what Aiden can do, so that's just me. All right, third, we'll see Wednesday about who I guess who's gonna play quarterback.
yeah.
Uh, story with the turnovers. They kept fighting. I will say that. And Tyree, Amir, DJ Turner, Jacoby Myers, Cash Money Carlson all deserve some mentioning for their efforts in the ball game. Although the Raiders came up short, man,
Yeah.
fall to 2-9, and is embracing the tank. We're tied for three worst records in the league. Now, segueing into that, tied with your people.
And we actually play them later this season.
So, what about a scenario where beating them for the pick? We beat them and they have the lower pick, right? The higher pick, whatever you want to say it. Um, what's your thoughts on a William Trevor Lawrence trade to the Raiders and going ahead and grabbing a Travis Hunter, like you mentioned?
I
What are your
mean,
thoughts on that?
if that would happen, I think that would be fine. I mean, he didn't have that great of a season um this year.
Get on board with that.
He did up until I think it was like what week was that? Right before he got hurt. It was a couple weeks right before he got hurt. And up until that game, his turnover margin was down from the year before. So he wasn't necessarily making the throws that he needs to make, but I'm like maybe a change of scenery is needed. I also wouldn't be against bringing your boy Justin Fields in now that Getsy's gone. I
All
told you
right.
that.
Because I was
I
going to
wouldn't
go
be.
there, brother. I was going there.
I would not be against it. I also looking at uh you know Gabriel. He's played a lot of foot in college. He's played a lot of football in college.
I'm not
Uh,
hip. I'm not
uh,
familiar.
Dylan Gabriel, he went to Oklahoma, then he went to Oregon. No, four or
Uh-huh.
5 years in college.
That's currently.
Yeah, the Oregon QB currently. And we talked about playing a lot of football,
Yes.
being a couple of different systems for multiple years. You know, it
Bo
for
Nix.
yeah. I'm not necessarily on board with the. I don't know if he's gonna be a perennial Pro Bowler and stuff like that, but he'll be a decent pro at the very least. He's played a lot of football in college. He
Yeah,
did play a lot of football in college.
yeah.
Um, from Indiana, he's a. I mean, they lost this Saturday against Ohio State team. You know, a lot.
Drug.
Yeah, I did get drunk. But played a lot of football in college. We talked about it. These guys who
So
played,
these some of your second round guys you were
yeah, they
talking
like
about?
around second round guys. Maybe if you trade up, that with your second round pick and third round, something like that. End up in that first round area. But like I just think if you have that number one pick, everybody's running to you get the best player available. I think that's Telesco's motto as well, and I think that he's followed that, especially with the situation with Brock. Bowers, I think is a fantastic pro as well. Um, I think
I'll
that
go ahead, bro.
over, I just think that overall there was a disconnect in how we were going to move forward with the season, and a first, it's just like okay, firstly, let's talk about the decisions that so-called AP made and had full reign over, apparently. So, firstly, he wanted to re-sign Josh Jacobs. He wanted
Absolutely.
he wanted to re-sign
Josh
Josh
said it
Jacobs.
himself.
Yeah, and I wasn't mad at Josh for going to get the money.
Not at
I
all.
was
Oh,
not mad at him
you
for
know
going.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and what's he doing right now? He's thriving out
Doing
there
this
in
thing.
in
Yep.
Green Bay. Same thing with Saquon and the Giants. Talking about
I
somebody, I
know.
didn't pay a running back. I didn't pay a quarterback 150 million to hand it off to a $75 million running back. Well, the
Man,
Eagles did that, and they're doing just fine.
the
So
Giants brass has stomach bubble every time they watch Saquon Barkley play.
exactly,
Stomach
uh,
bubble.
here and again. But apparently, AP had full reign over that. No, he did not.
No, he did not.
Secondly, the OC hire. Apparently, AP had full reign over that. Went from Cliff Kingsbury to Kubiak all the way to Getsy. How does he have full reign over that if he wanted to hire the first two and then contract disputes of just 1 year being added, which means that that was a conversation with the GM.
So look, I heard TJ
And then,
Hushmanzada. He was talking about somebody else. He was talking about Shane Waldron, but this applies to Getsy. So you you've been to the club, bro. You've been to the dances, high school, whatever.
yeah,
And the the lights come on, and you haven't you know you ain't got you ain't got what you ain't secured nothing for the night. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And now the lights is on, and it's nothing but stragglers.
yeah.
You feel me? Blasted, been drinking or whatever. You know what I mean? Stragglers all left. Um, so secure one of the stragglers, man, just to not go home with nothing, right? That's what happened with AP and the offensive coordinator search. I feel like
That's
the
basically
lights
what happened.
came on. You feel me? Nothing but
Exactly.
stragglers left.
Exactly. It's like he found I found the baddie, Cliff Kingsbury,
Right.
and oh, he was a couple dollars short. Damn. All right. Then kind of found, still cute. Not quite the, top of the, as people would say, society. And then,
Uh.
oh shit. I
Uh
had
huh.
spent my dollars trying to get the baddie. Now I ain't got
Right.
enough even for her. Damn. All right, fuck. Now, like you said, the lights done came on. Now it's Getsy ugly ass just standing over there. Just oh shit. And you gotta go home with something, bro. You need something, bro. You told everybody you come home with something, bro.
Right. See? Yeah. It, that's how it happens, man. That's how it happens. Just like that, right there, bro.
And then also AP said he didn't want to necessarily put a band-aid on
So that
quarterback.
so that's two
And
things, right? Right? You
no,
still you break it down. You're on two things now. All
yeah,
right.
that's two things. Third, AP said he didn't want to put a band-aid on quarterback. Now,
Oh,
this one, someone say is not into Let's Go fault because it takes two to tango. He may
yeah.
have tried to trade up and nothing could have happened. So I'm not going 100% blame Telesco, but I'm not necessarily blaming Telesco in this situation, but I do think that there was a miscommunication on how they should proceed with this season. I think that Telesco is like, there's some talent on this roster, but there also needs to be somewhat of an overhaul. You know what I'm saying? And especially now that and he's like, we got talent, but I'm not going to mortgage our future just for this year to possibly see if we can dethrone the Chiefs. I think that he's thinking, okay, 3 or 4 years road, maybe we can dethrone the Chiefs. Because I feel like, hey, the Chargers at this point kind of had the best chance of it, and they got a strong run game. Herbert's not turning over the football. Harbaugh is a coach who's done college and pros successfully. So, you know what I'm saying? Uh in what his fourth year, fifth year now? Fourth year.
Um, yeah,
Fourth season?
this
Fifth
is
season.
fifth
Fifth
season.
season. So, like I said, 4 or 5 years down the line, now they're in prime position, ready to go with their rookie quarterback. I think that he was like last year, yes, it was a very strong class, absolutely. But I think he was also saying we can get some pieces elsewhere and then run it with a mid-grade quarterback at Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell and possibly make the playoffs. But that ended up not happening because people got hurt. Devontae got traded, and all these things went wrong. But I think at the beginning of the season there was a lot of miscommunication between him and AP on how the plan to move forward was.
The So those three things, man, right? He they felt that people trying to paint a narrative where he had control of that, and he absolutely did not. However, I will say where he made a misstep. Changing the run scheme. What made him think, all right, to run the, all right, it's all kind of stuff went wrong here. All right, first of all, the dude, James Craig, wasn't that his name, man? Yeah, James Craig had never been an offensive line coach. He had been an assistant before. All right. So now you have a guy that's never been an O-line coach himself coming over, first of all, as your O-line coach. Then you're changing your whole run scheme to something that this guy is teaching, who has never actually done this before. Third thing, problem with that. The run scheme that you're trying to run requires a certain type of offensive lineman. And you didn't address that. You had most of your you had at the start of the season they had 3/5 of their offensive line from last year with and Glaze wasn't starting yet, so it was Whitehair. Nah, bro, they had 4/5 of their line from last year back because they had Mumford, Parham, James, and Miller. So they had decent success blocking for Josh Jacobs and White the year before, bro.
Yeah.
So why come AP think that that was gonna work? I think I gotta say that is bad, bro. I gotta get and I don't at all really, but I will say that about him. I don't. He should have had the wherewithal to think about that, man, before doing that like that. When the Remember when the O line coach went to the Giants, bro? What was his name? Carmen something. It was a little bit of a alarming. It was a little. Maybe we should have eyebrow to that at the time. Because now look at them. They back trying to go back power now with Philbin coaching the O line. So you live and you learn to as a football coach, right?
And yeah, it's just I just and then these reporters just also killed me overall. They just don't do the work or look at things blaming. So you had a reporter talking about, oh, the defense isn't special like they said in training camp, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, dude, so that was when the defense was healthy. Kuntz, Wilkins, and Epps are now all on the IR. Bennett and Hobbs have been out. Diablo was out for extended time. Hell, even Max missed the game. Not only that, the offense has been so terrible this year, putting the defense in horrendous positions. Our defense
Yes,
is 29th in points allowed, but only 15th in yards given up. The Raiders have given up 20 turnovers, with three of them going for touchdowns,
yes.
like off of scooping scores or pick sixes. Then, listen to this, the Raiders defense average starting field position is 33.7 yards, which is 32nd in the NFL. The Raiders offense time of possession per possession ranks 28th in the NFL, yardage gain per possession 29th in the NFL, and 26th in points per possession, while being ranked first in turnover percentage. Like,
The
and
offense
then
has been in.
all you're talking about is, oh well, the defense is so terrible, they're giving up all these points, and it's like I'm giving you every single reason on why that you're only saying, well, injuries happen. It's not just about the injuries. I'm literally telling you that the offense was malpractice. This was before Getsy got fired. When I said this is malpractice, what Getsy did. You want to talk about malpractice? That's malpractice.
I mean, he came and he do he. You know what I'm saying? He should have never been hired.
But like we said, what was he going to do? Go into the season without an offensive coordinator? I can't hear you, Ragu. Ragu, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Hold on. Hold on. Let me make sure it's not.
What about now? Still no.
Okay, you good. You good.
I was on
Yeah, you good.
about how Getsy with the two tight ends and all that shit. Like
Yeah,
it was
like,
gonna
bro, he
be
just
cool,
slide, bro.
man.
Them first few games before Mayer went on IR, dealing with a personal issue. Glad to see him back. Uh, he
Yeah,
like we wanted to be traded because he wasn't getting the snaps that Getsy had promised him. And he's a talented tight end in his own right.
and I think
Like, I was excited what those two could do together on the football field.
yeah, and he showed starting to show. Now that he's starting to show up. So that's another happened though in the season. So AP had control of that too, I guess. I just made some missteps. You can't blame this whole thing on him, and you got to get him some players, man. And I'm a fan of, like you said, man, just and get a available free agent QB that can help us. Hold on,
Yes, sir.
yeah, get a available free QB that can help us, and then continue building the trenches. Um, interior offensive line, I would say, is where we should start. I really
I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, next off season, Wilson is available. Pitt re-ups on him, which I think they likely will.
one of the
Um,
Steeler quarterbacks should be available.
they'll likely let Fields walk, so they won't have to give up that draft pick. So Justin Fields will be available. Um, and Darnold will be available depending on what Minnesota decides to do with him. So, I just think if you get somebody like Travis Hunter, you've secured your lockdown corner alongside Ja'Cory and Bennett, and you also get a valuable offensive weapon as well. And you can go with possibly drafting a second or third round QB. And then seeing what the draft looks like for QBs the next year.
So I
Or
think they're going. You think they're going? Well, we're getting ahead a little bit, but
yeah,
maybe they
yeah,
make
just
a
a lot.
T Higgins.
I mean, T. Higgins, a lot of money available. Yeah,
I
that
know.
was that I will praise Telesco on that. Him getting even though he didn't get Mike Williams back here, but I was like, well, why didn't you get Mike Williams back? He got them to pay the rest of Devontae Adams' contract.
Yeah,
We are off the hook of that. So
yeah.
regardless of however the Jets season goes, even if we don't get it upgraded to a second round pick, which is very unlikely at this point.
No, that's not going to
Uh,
happen.
uh, yeah, what I'm saying is still going to be a top 100 pick.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
uh, Telesco has that he's done some good things with the top 100 picks that he's had thus far. And so if you can, you said secure the line, build that interior O line, and possibly even get a deep tackle or something like that. Within those first 100, along with your game changer, whether that be a quarterback, if we depend on what pick we end up at, because like I said, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I feel like we firmly can say we're gonna have four picks right now in the top 100 picks. I feel like that's four starters that you can go and get if you make the right picks. Because we saw this year he got three starters. Glaze started quite a few games, and he did fine. So like his
I
rookie,
wouldn't be mad if
yes,
all
made
four
some
of
rookie
those
mistakes.
guys was all on offense.
I wouldn't be mad if all four of those guys was just straight trench guys at this damn point, besides the first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, was the first one because I would. That should be Trav. Hopefully.
Oh, or Shador or Cam or it should be a game changer. But let's I I don't foresee a lot of wins coming across the board in the near future. And it's unfortunate, but we'll see if even is going to be the coach at the end of the year because I mean there's murmurs that I just don't know. But what I will say is if Tom Brady is having his input and truly has input and they are listening to what he is saying, then I'm on board because at this point, whoever can fix the fucking Raiders, I'm with it. I saw people walk
Just
across the
keep
street.
stopping and starting with the different regimes, man. Let him
Yeah,
let him
yeah,
grow. Let him
that's
build his
also what I
roster
think.
and his staff. Read and cuts the staff some of this dead weight of staff a loose, man. And I understand that it was a technology gap for some of the older guys or whatever, man. But I guess, man, now you got to take the training wheels off, man. Get rid of some of the older guys. Also, a development was Mark Davis selling of the team. I don't know if you heard
Yeah, I
that.
saw that.
Um, so have no fear, nation. That's just so he can get some cash in hand
Yeah,
so that he can pay some big signing bonuses and some guaranteed contracts and whatnot and pay off some of these coaches that he done fired over the years with this money, man. So
this
those
is a
little
fact.
billions he was making on the side or those hundreds of thousands he's making on the side, man, was to get himself liquid so that, you can have them in hand to pay a Trevor Lawrence if you end up getting that contract or you need a big time free agent or something, signing bonuses and all that type of stuff, bro. So he has the net worth, but he didn't have the cash in hand. So that's what he was doing.
I mean, next year, third in space with $112 million behind
Yeah.
Arizona and New England.
And he's
Um,
actually got that cash now. You know what I'm
uh,
saying?
yeah,
So
and so DJ Reed corner for the will be available. Stanley will be available from the Ravens. Guard Trey Smith from the Chiefs be available. Uh, zero sacks allowed thus far this year. Only three penalties.
We need some guards,
26.
man. Bad.
He's a guard. Like I said, Sam
I'm done with
Darnold, Chris Godwin. He's 29. So I mean, I'm not saying that,
coming off of ACL,
yeah.
right? Or is it
I
keep
think it's
one or two? Something bad.
ACL.
Yeah.
And then you got T. Higgins, and I always also discuss Justin Fields.
And
Uh,
Mike Will too, right? Mike Will should be a UFA as
well,
well.
this was just top free agents on US8 on
Okay, all right.
some of those guys. But the players available. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I got you. Here's the longer list. I got Sports Track. Um, Najee Harris, running back from the Connor, Aaron Jones. Um, James Conner
If
doesn't
we
look
could
like
get
necessarily lost his
Najee,
stuff. Nick Chubb will be available. Amir Abdullah is a free agent here, as well as Alexander Madison.
man, I'd love to see Najee Harris in the Raider uniform. I don't know
Big
what the Steelers was
quarterback.
tripping off of when they declined his option anyway.
Let's see guards. Okay, Zach Martin, uh, Kevin Zietler, who I wanted to get this offseason. He's playing for the Giants right now. Dalton Reisner, another guy who we should look at. Liam Eichenberg. Uh,
That is Cincinnati. I mean from
no,
Miami.
Liam Eichenberg.
Tommy's brother. Yeah.
Tommy, get you on the phone. You
Yeah,
know,
man. Make it a family affair, man. He start too. Good player. He was,
defensive
locking
line.
us up.
Um, it's not many big names on the defensive line that are necessarily coming out on free agency there unless some popped out of things. They got DeMarcus Lawrence. Um, but yeah, I mean, let's do in the secondary. Buda Baker, um, safety, Byron Murphy, corner, Justin safety.
I don't think they're
Uh,
gonna spend no money at safety. I don't think. Got the, I think they got high Trey Taylor, the Air Force kid.
and Isaiah Palomar.
Yeah. They even had that kid yesterday. Didn't look bad. Came up,
So
smack shit out of
we
a
have
couple
money to
cats.
spend. We have money to spend. And if they play the cards right in the draft and in free agency, we could go from worst to first next year. Next year.
You
And
get the QB, man.
I know
Yeah.
we keep saying next year, but it's just like, bro, you gotta stop constantly changing regimes. You gotta stop constantly running GMs and coaches in and out of there.
Yeah.
And you gotta build a culture to how the Raiders were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, man. So
And you
uh,
can't do that just on changing up. And
yeah,
so
you can't. There's no way.
I think he'll be back, man.
I hope so, but
But we will
we'll
be
just have
back,
to see.
brother. And
Okay.
we are wrap this one up and come back on a pre-turkey day for the Black Friday game, man. So need a nugget you got or whatever for that show, man.
Okay.
Gonna
Alrighty.
let the
We'll
people
see
on
you
out of
then.
here. So you know how
Alrighty,
we do, how we always say, just win, baby.
baby. Peace.
Peace.